Вітаю, Лариса.
Добрий день, Інна, рада вас бачити.
Навзаєм. Так, Тетяна долучається. Я вже 2 меседжі сьогодні отримала, що 2 людей не можуть прийти. Відповідно, the less is better because we will have the very good discussion here actually on the process that you've been going through. Hi, Anya. Hi, Julia. Nice meeting you. So before we start the Enneagram as such as the session, and I'm waiting for Jimena and Ludovica. And again, I'm doing all the sessions, though we share the language, I do all the sessions in English, so other people who don't speak any of our languages, they can follow up. Jimena is here. So how was the process after the previous meeting we had with you in terms of, again, the self-leadership homework, and the reflections you had on where exactly you are going in life? You worked on your homework, right?
Yes. I hope everybody did it, but I can answer only about me. I thought about it really every day. And I tried to put my thoughts to be not some personal person, but something more. I think I wanted to use some personal and use some general information. So but it was interesting for me because I never did it before. I had my work, I had my life, but now everything changed. So I have to move forward, and I think it will help me in future. So it's only about me, my personal thoughts about it.
Fantastic. This is already a good start, right? If you say it as the past is the past, the way to move forward.
Something happened, and now it's really a start. So
okay, so you are ready to fight for your next chapter.
Yes, I need to have some rest maybe, but I have no time for this, I think. So only forward without looking back. So,
fantastic.
Thank
Happy
you.
to support you in this new decision.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope so.
Cool. Any other thoughts about the reflections on the homework you had?
I can say a couple of words. I think I find it the exercise was super useful because for my strategy there were deficiency. I didn't have any milestones. I didn't have any deadlines. But this is like where I'm in 2 months, where I'm in 2 years. That was like a food for my brain, and I thought about it and just spotlighted a bit the direction. That was really useful. And the second exercise, which was Enneagram, the deficiency, was so fun. And I have a couple of questions, and then I will ask you when we touch this topic.
We will go into that today. So I've seen you did, Tatiana did, Anna did, Jimena did, Julia, because we didn't enroll you to the full program. You didn't have your Enneagram.
I understood that. I understood that, yes.
Yeah, but then you see, from what we will be discussing today, it's quite self-observative. You might see certain patterns in that, and then once you're ready to go for it, we will give you the access to the test, so you will recognize some patterns and behaviors. And I'm very happy, again, Larissa, that you found it interesting for you, and I've seen your profile especially for you. We will discuss that.
Are you able to see our results?
I see the results, of course, because I see who is completed, who has not. So I see.
That's great,
And
interesting
again, because I see the results in the system, for me to have more quality discussion with you on that, it's better to know, not to guess, right?
Yeah.
So I can answer your questions. Anna, how was this for you, the Enneagram exercise and the homework?
Well, Enneagram exercise was actually very interesting. So I was kind of thinking about the patterns and about these how it's called these resourceful and less resourceful things. So it was very good to see it kind of summarized and not guessing, try to understand yourself and so on. But when it's written, it's kind of give you a direction or even actions to do.
And this is just the top of the iceberg. There are a lot of things inside.
Mhm.
But literally, you will see. I do, and it's not part of this program, but because I teach Enneagram for corporates, I do the team buildings Enneagram based in my main business. And I have a lot of individual clients also who are, especially those who are launching the new businesses, because there are patterns that are showing on the resourceful and less resourceful side of the Enneagram is actually where you will be lagging behind. Where are those barriers that don't allow you to move as quick as you need to go?
Exactly. So the most insightful was, since I was running around like certain topics in my head, the test showed actually the weak parts. Like, for example, you should not focus on the emotions, or you need to process emotions but link it to action. And so that gives a clear direction of what you should do. And basically, we help to withdraw yourself from this cycle, never ending, story in your head. That was
And
brilliant.
plus, you have the very special, beautiful story created by you,
Well, yeah.
as your type 4, right? That you think the
Yes.
whole world should turn into your story, and which is not the case. Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
right.
take a quick look on your 4. So yeah, there are a lot of things to discuss. And just to quick to summarize the quick welcome to the session and quick catch up. And Tanya, for you.
Actually, it was good. I fully agree with my results, to be honest. I found some really funny things that I didn't think about it before. The only my concern that I think that like I moved to London 1 year ago, and it was like fully transformative year for me. So when I started to answer questions, I was like, should I answer from like Tatiana's perspective as I always been, or like my new version, but which is not confirmed? So that's why like I think that results are not quite exact and accurate from like where I am right now. But this is kind of my new version. But it's my personal reflection.
The Enneagram shows you your values and behaviors and drivers in life starting from the early childhood. So you can actually think this is new you or old you and what was happening with you before, etc. But this is how you've been building all your life based on the programming you received when you were a kid.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah.
And then even knowing your type, that you are questioning, is this or this is this? You are trying to find the logic in your wiseness. It's already reconfirming that, this is big part of you in the results. And Humana, I was not surprised with your results, actually.
I was laughing. I even like it might be really like not very professional. I just reached out to my best friend. I was like, "Look, this is my results. Like, why are you still like my friend? Are you sure?" Like, she was like, "No, it's fine." So, but this is so true. So, I mean, I'm happy I didn't want negative. So it's already a big achievement.
Yeah, it's so good. And yeah, definitely I felt so identified. Like, for example, as myself, I really identify my self-worth with productivity and performance, and it's so good like how it like matches your talents and your weaknesses, and it's very interesting to review what we can work on in the future. I really enjoy the process. And what I was curious is like when it refers to wings, what is it as like the other
It's a different thing. It's a different level. We will talk about that today.
Okay.
I explain you the whole principle of the Enneagram, how it works, how you read it, and what are the hidden patterns of it, so you can think about yourself and how you are dealing with that. And again, for Julia, it's more observe where you see your patterns, and then you can build a picture to which types you can tend, and then we will validate it on the test. And Olga is here, but Olga, you have the access to the test, but you didn't complete the test. So
Yes, unfortunately, this week I was a whole week sick with high temperature. Now I come from doctor also. Justin wrote, I listen, look, and will make maybe today or tomorrow.
cool, fantastic. I'm sorry to hear that you didn't feel well, but probably this is the blanket time in your canapa. I will give you also the the opportunity to complete it when you know a little bit more about that. Okay, ladies. As I mentioned, I like this this cohort of being female cohort only. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is actually how you read the Enneagram and what you take for you there. Again, I didn't know how many of us are coming to this session, so I have some group exercises which we will do as the overall sharing back exercise. Okay. So I don't need to split you, and we are not that many to split you in the group. We will just have the open discussion of certain patterns that you see, you have seen in the test. So the big picture, there are 9 different types. You've seen that in your test. As I mentioned, Enneagram is the very old Greek philosophy. Enne in Greek is 9, gram is corner or angle. The history says that the Enneagram comes from the ancient Greek philosophers. And then in the early 20th century, it started to be the psychology course, part of the psychology courses in the universities, especially in the North and South Americas, where it's very big. I did my certification in US with one of the modern gurus of the Enneagram. And there is another thing is that, as I just mentioned to Tatiana, that the number of questions you have and what you observe, the similarities of questions you answer, actually have very small hidden patterns inside that dive into the psychology, the drivers, the specific sides of your character, and then it allocates you in terms of percentage of answers on all that types. So the report you received shows you your dominant type, because again, this is the automated report. So you have your dominant type saying, Tatiana, you're type 5. And then you can look at your another types as well. These are the other numbers, the biggest numbers that you have on the Enneagram. But this I will explain you later on how you read it. So as I'm the Enneagram trainer, I tend to say this is not precisely correct in the Enneagram to label you to the specific type, saying again, Tanya, you are 5. But then to see what are the other big types that are driving your behaviors, thoughts, and the considerations. Okay, and then you are a mix of things. But then also, as Anna made the example, there is a table in your report showing the resourceful and less resourceful side. And on the resourceful side, this is where you are in your flow and in the right place, and you get the energy and you're doing the things that you like. And the less resourceful, this is when you are under the stress. And then in specific situations, we have the moments like you say, why did I say this, or why did I do this? It's not really me, and I didn't think so. But then this stress prevails, and brings up the behaviors that are not naturally yours. But again, based on this methodology, in your table, in your data, you can see that this pattern or this type is growing under stress. And this is something which is not naturally yours, or sometimes naturally yours, but becomes much stronger than you actually can manage. Right? And it could be in the positive, again, in the resourceful side, the growth, and in the less resourceful side where you have the negative patterns. So it means you take the negative characteristics of that type and they drive your decision making. And then by knowing this, you can manage that. Like, I don't know, some people are growing under stress in type 8, which the powerful person, there is a lot of energy, decisiveness, and challenge there, but under the stress, it produced anger. And when people know about that, they're literally saying, okay, I see I become angry. This is not correct. This is not me. This I can manage with my emotional intelligence. And this is what I'm not showing to the outer world, or I can manage for myself. Okay, this is the way, the basics, how the Enneagram works on top of mind. Again, there are a lot of explanation there, but be mindful also of not claiming yourself as one specific type, but see a little bit bigger on the combination of different types, who you are, and what are the behavioral patterns you are using in the everyday life. And then we will talk also today about the things that are lagging behind or barriers for you to move forward, or why specifically you're questioning or procrastinating in the moment and cannot move forward, right? We have a lot of questions. Where do they come from? What are these hidden traumas or traits that don't allow you to, again, let it go and turn the page and start the new chapter of your life? Okay? In the Enneagram, again, how you will be looking on the combination of your types, it's very easy. If you want to split 9 types into buckets, type 2, 3, and 4, we call it the emotional center or the heart center. This is about the feelers. These are the people who are driven by the emotions, right? So, for instance, type 4, the original person is the type that creates their own spectrum of emotions and imagination about the world and goes very deep into his emotional center by the way how this world is perceived, right? It should be very authentic, creative, non-orthodox, and have this special twist. And that the type 4 is one of the most, I would say, the most creative type of the Enneagram, with the very sensitive sense of art, beauty, around them and around life. For type 3, for instance, the effective person, you would say why the effective is about the emotions, because the effective is about the performance and succession, because there is an appreciation that we are looking there, and to be loved and to be appreciated with the positive feedback. And type 2, these are the people who are giving a lot to others, being very supportive and empathetic to others by building the relations, creating these human connections, and being of service to other people. So this is very easy. This is the emotional center of the Enneagram. And then the next one you have where there are some of you, no, wait a second, I'll give you a little bit more explanation here, because before I move to the next one. So just as mentioned, type 2, the main value is love. These people are driven by support and love, and they're very generous, harmonious, and need these mutual relations with others. There should be always 2 people or more people. They cannot be alone. The effective person, type 3, is about efficiency and competence and ticking the boxes, doing the stuff, very productive, bringing projects to the completion, accomplishing goals, working efficiently. These people need the appreciation. This is the main driver, to be liked and to be loved. And the original person attached to the value of originality and authenticity. If there is someone who is faking or superficial around them, they're just turning them back. This space is not for them, and these people are not for them. Very sensitive, very honoring to the uniqueness and the deep, authentic connection with others and with the world as well. That's why sometimes it can be very emotionally deep and hard to go through certain life stories and to make certain decisions, bringing this original introspection to who they are. Okay, now the next one, because you are a mix of many mind center thinkers, type 5, 6, and 7. Type 5 is the wise person. These are very introverted people and liking to stay in their honors. They don't want to shine on the stage, as for instance, type 3 would love to. And it's all about the logic, facts, and knowledge. While making your decision, you need to make sure that you have enough of incoming data to support this decision before you are making this decision. The difference between, for instance, 5 and 3 is that 3s are making the decisions to tick the box and to get to the next stage, whatever the data they have, and 5 are not moving without the confirmation with the facts that this is the right decision to make. In different situations, both could be valid and both could be wrong. Type 6, the loyal person, these are the people who value trust-based relations, strategic thinking, and planning. These people are not making the decisions quickly until they make sure that all the risks are assessed and you see quite an evidence about all the challenges that are going your way. For type 6, there is a lot of, in terms of values and why they're behaving this way, because there is a lot of anxiety and insecurity. So you need to make sure that you are with people that you can trust and you don't have that many people in your circle, because the trust should be gained by you. And only when you have this, you've got this, you can open up to those people. So for instance, 6, that is those people who are saying, first of all, no to everything, because they didn't make sure yet that this is the good yes, right? And in contrary, for instance, type 7, which we call the joyful person, these are yes people. Sometimes I tell that these are the people who are jumping as monkeys from tree to tree by looking at new opportunities and new ideas. They are saying yes to everything. They jump into it and then they will see. So they can fail, they can enjoy, they can change. These are the little bit messy people, and these are the marketing people, if you like. So there could be the allocation of the professions here as well. Marketing, I mean, in the sense that these people like brainstorming, bringing new ideas into place. They always see positive outcome out of whatever situation. Sometimes it's very irritating, especially for type 6 or 8. Like there is no, like it's shit. Why you are telling this could be positive, right? And the 7s, they will always see it on the positive side of things, and that makes them difficult to digest negative emotions. They just turn the page and they move on. And you remember last time we were talking that some emotions have to be digested, and there is a need to go through certain elements and emotions in life. So 7s, they don't. They just close the door and move to the next opportunity, next new thing. Okay. So this is about the mind center. Just to make the summary around that. Type 5, they value knowledge and learning. For type 5, if you don't bring enough of arguments of why this thing should be done this way, they are not, as for instance, as the leaders, they are not able to make the decisions. And then again, if you're thinking about certain decisions in life and you don't have enough of incoming data, it will be very difficult for you to make it. So the point here is sometimes probably challenge yourself with the way I have already enough, so I'm just wasting time waiting, being uncertain about my decision, why I just can't take the risk, try, and then we'll see how it goes, right? So it's all about the insights and learning when the things you put together based on the facts and logic. For type 6, there are some of you here. As I mentioned, loyalty is the main thing. very responsible, very strategic, long-term, need to assess a lot of things before making the decision, and need to build trust with people. And for instance, for type 6, the networking is quite a challenge because there are a lot of people that they don't know, and they don't know in which sense they can trust them or if there is a risk of something. So they prefer to stay in the closed circle. And as I mentioned, for type 7 is the contrary. More people is better because every new person is a new opportunity, and it's all about the joy, excitement, positive thinking, possibilities that life can offer. Okay, and this is they are placing their central goals around these new opportunities that could come their way. Now, the third block for you. I'm not sure if I've seen someone from you in strong 8, 9, and 1, but have a look on your results. These are the doers. This is the center of intuition and action. Type 8 is we call powerful person or the challengers. These are very strong personality types. These are the decision makers. Then again, in contrary, the peaceful person, type 9, is those who are looking that everyone is included and the world is a beautiful place and there is peace, there is no conflict. So if you like, 8s are creating the conflicts and 9s, they're managing the conflicts, so there are no conflicts. If there is a person in the room you are dealing with who is bringing the truth on the table and want to have the immediate decision, most probably this person will be type 8. And if you see someone in the room who is sitting on the very back seat and just if there is something that goes wrong or that situation is not healthy, can stand up and moderate. We call them also the, not the moderators, but facilitators and mediators of the conversations, because type 8s could sometimes create the very strong ambience and the discussions when the things are happening. In type 1, if some of you have very strong 1 in your Enneagram table, the good person, we call it the good person because these people are very much about the ethics, values, behaviors, and very strong sense of morality. So there is a black and white for them, good and bad. And these are the perfectionists as well. Those people who are raising the bar very high. And the problem is that the bar could be too high for themselves, first of all, and then to others as well. So it's very difficult to reach that person. Now, while you are looking at this map, think also, this is the side perspective, but think also, probably after the session when you digest your profile, on who are the people in your ambience that are influencing you in life. What could be those types and how you deal with them. And also when you will be, for instance, for those of you who are looking for the job, also who are the decision makers on how you are opening the doors by reading different personality types, their needs, and how exactly you can approach them in the communication and the style of, well, what exactly you say, but how you approach them in communication as well. Enneagram is very rich in this sense. Even for Julia, for instance, when you see that without knowing your types, you can already recognize some patterns of yourself and probably some people in your ambience. So the powerful person type 8, this is all about the certain level of energy and the power, decisions, and challenging. They love difficult situations, difficult topics. For peaceful person, again, it's about peace and harmony, be in peace with yourself, with others, with surroundings, and with the whole life, what it brings. And the good person is about values, goodness in terms of morality and ethics, but also it's about the high standards, perfectionists, and living life up to that standards. These are those people, you know, that if you build the very nice article and there is one mistake in it, they will see it. Okay? Are we good here? we will open we will do the little break by understanding the Enneagram types. So if during next 5 minutes, I will not split you into the groups. We are the little group today. If I would ask you again, raise the digital hand so we don't interrupt each other. Where do you see yourself most? You have your result, but now you see all the Enneagram types in the way how I explained. What are the patterns you see concerning your type and probably some other types that where you recognize yourself? Anna, please go ahead.
So by looking at all the types, to be honest, now I'm thinking that the result of the test is very much depends on the current situation, the way how you feel. So for example, if you go through the challenges, your type can be heavily affected by the situations in life, because so I probably agree for the moment that that my type, I mean, it's a good description of me, but I used to also be strongly linked to the other types. So that's why that makes me think that this type can be very different from depending on the situation you are in, depending on the challenges that you have in life, like current challenges.
I would say
it's not stable. So that's what I'm trying to say. So please confirm if I'm right or wrong.
You're asking as type 1. There could be 50 shades of gray. I tend to say, and what I've seen, again, I did it, I do the Enneagram for the last couple of years already. I tend to say that your core type and the highest number or 2 up to maximum 3 numbers, this is who you are regardless the situation where you are. And probably in your particular case, what you shared with us in the very beginning, probably in your particular case, when you said, I don't know where I'm going and what I'm looking, this is the thing, because in your type 4, you have created this imagination, your view on the world that is sitting inside of you, your system of beliefs, your perception of how the things should be done, and probably that the people around you could be better and kinder, more kind, and then you're looking for that. And while there is no food that comes or energy comes back your way in the same authentic, creative way, right? You feel empty. And then you get into the deep emotions, because this is where your richness is inside. You get into a lot of introspection. Your type is quite emotionally heavy, and the risk of it is that it's bringing you quite often into more like melancholic, a little bit depressive state when you are questioning a lot of things. And then you see, based on other types, how it's enhanced by other types. So yes, that could be the affection of the current situation, especially when you are in the less resourceful side. You can see that, I don't know, type 8 is challenging, you raise the bar of type 1, and you are questioning yourself too much and asking too much from yourself and others, is because you didn't find that authentic response of the world to who you are. So this is where you should be looking primarily of what is this source of originality, creativity, and authenticity you can find in whatever you are going to do next.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Well, yeah, it kind of does.
And again, I don't know, then should not know all the backgrounds, etc. But what I encourage you all is to think about where the patterns of the main type or types are coming from. Why? Okay. And then when you find that answers why of, I don't know, in making just the example in type 1 that I just finished with in terms of perfectionism, or probably who has the strong 1 type, probably when you were little, there was the very strong authority of someone who didn't give you space for mistakes and demanding being the strongest, the smartest, the best, the most beautiful girl in the school with only high scores, etc. And then it comes from our Soviet past as well, the system we were living in, right? So you ask yourself, okay, do I want to live with that traumas and that patterns that someone put on me or wear me when I was a little, or it's time for me to get rid of those and live different life? This is the question you should be answering yourself with the support of the Enneagram and the goals where you are going next. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to share? No, you see yourself clearly. You're okay, good. What I didn't mention for you, because I just started talking about the Enneagram, etc. So if you want, in my calendar, and this is I run because the Enneagram I'm using everywhere in all the non-profit and profit programs. So every Saturday in the morning, I have the thing that calls but it's in my commercial business. I have the thing that called Bevel Clarity Mornings. When I have people, it's a very small group, sometimes 1, 2, but up to 4 people. Those who are did the Enneagram tests with us and still have questions and want to look individually into the results and to read the results a little bit better in terms of combination of different numbers and stories. So if this is something you would like to do with me to deep dive into your particular results, every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, I do it as another Zoom session. Okay. Now, Larissa, you wanted to add something.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ina. I'm afraid I'm not sure that I've got the where can we find the link, or just where how can we join this session? I mean, every Saturday session.
It's on my main website, Bavel.world. It's my commercial business. So when you go in the Bavel.world in events, then every Saturday there is a Bevel Clarity Morning, and you can just register there as you have already tested. You can register there for any Saturday you want. But if you want, I will send you the link after that in the WhatsApp group. So once you're ready, you can do it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It would be nice. That was my additional question, but the main was related to the where am I to where I see myself regarding these types, and you know, that for me that was really eye opener, and now I had a big question: how I survive, how I did survive in corporate environment with my type. And now I'm thinking the next question. So is I understood right? So the every type has less and less resource, and the the most
resourceful and less
resourceful, statement, on the, and my understanding, mostly I've survived with my less resource statement. And that's why now I have the answer why what was the root cause of my burnout, and then so on and so I survived on my less resource type of personality. And now I'm.
You want on 3? You want
no,
on opposite?
Opposite.
You want
Exactly.
from 6 to 3?
Yes, 6. 6. I'm wondering why I have 2 alternatives types, and that was my questions to you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but now I mean that I survived with my alternative peaceful person.
Mm-hmm.
Peaceful
Mm-hmm.
person.
Yeah, I'll show you that a little bit later because you see on the Enneagram, you see also the arrows. It's the arrows of growth. It's either where you take, and it depends which color of the arrow in the map. It depends if you are taking the resourceful, healthy attributes of that types, or you are taking the less resourceful, unhealthy attributes of that types. So that's why it's interesting to sit, on the separate session and to deep dive into all the arrows, wings. Some numbers are green, some are red, to see specifically based on your story of why, what's happening, and how you leverage your type in the best capacity. But let me go to that. I will show you the arrows. No, it's not here. On the next one. Look, stay with me. So in the Enneagram, what could be first, let's say, insight and useful thing for you based on your type or types, yeah, are what is the main strengths? What should you leverage when you say, I don't know, for instance, me, I'm the combination of 3, 7, and 8. Okay? That's why I'm running 2 businesses, because I'm very resourceful. And my strengths from each of these type, I leverage in running the business. I leverage my effective person 3. I'm very resourceful. Okay? And if I want something, I go for it because there is an objective, right? So the question for you that each type has the main strengths, then you take as your main equipment and you say, this is me, this is what I'm going to leverage because this is where my energy will come from, this is where I will thrive. Yeah? This is your core based on who you are as a personality. So for instance, for those of you who are type 1 or have strong representation of type 1, this is the main strength is the discipline. There are many, but I'm taking for you the example of those that you can take with you in building your plan. Okay, so for those of you who have very strong type 1, and when I say very strong, look at your table where I encourage to go into maximum 3 highest numbers out of 9, but better to stay with 1. But for instance, in my particular case, I'm on 99% of my 3 types. So I go for 3. In some of you, you have 96 and the next one is 87, for instance. So stay with your 96, okay? On Larissa, I think this is your case, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah? Stay, no, not yours, I don't remember. So stay in with one type, learn to manage one type before you go to the next one. Because the mastery of the Enneagram is that you can decode, recognize in you and in others all 9 types, different type of people, but that you can adapt yourself to different situations by leveraging your different types. Okay, and I say, for instance, in my particular case, you said, okay, I'm type 3 for managing the business, perfectly fine, because I know I'm resilient, I know there is a goal and I'm achieving that goal. Okay, so this is the resilience, resourcefulness is my strength. In my type 7, when I work with my team, I'm bringing a lot of ideas. I have the capacity to pause myself and to say enough is enough, but it also gives me very open mindset in the way how I drive the business, right? And in my 8, when my team calls me with the specific question saying we cannot make the decision, this decision I'm making in 2 seconds. So I'm using my strengths. The question is, what is your strengths that in your particular plan, in your homework for 2 months, for two months in 2 years' time, you know that you are going to reach it by leveraging your strengths. So for type 1, this is the discipline. For those of you who are strong in type 2, this is the mastery of the connections, networking, building relations, supporting others. This is the strengths. For type 3 is about ambitions. And again, as type 3, I'm always tell to my type 3s that if you have the target, go for it, because the type 3 will manage, and the bigger ambition is better, you can manage. Definitely that. Then with the type 4, literally this is creativity, and that's why this is the original person's creativity and originality. If you sense that you are looking into the world with the different lenses and do things differently than others, this is your strength. The type 4 in the professional setting is about integrity, when everything is like the painter, you know. There is a picture, you paint something, and every little detail creates the bigger picture. This is the type 4 in business, and there is a lot of creativity and orthodox way of thinking. When you position yourself for the next job, and when the HR is asking you what is your strongest asset, you said, I'm very unorthodox, I'm about integrity, and I'm about creativity. I see things differently than others don't see that. And that's already a pitch. It already sounds a very interesting way. Okay. For type 5, I would say the curiosity, because again, Tatiana, we were talking about your type. It's in order to make the decision, you want to learn to get more data and more facts. So it's again, it's very much about the open and growth mindset of being curious to learn more. In the way how you search for the job, or again, for next chapter, this is the very strong asset. For type 6, this is about strategy and planning. You position yourself this way. You said, I'm not messy. I'm not sporadical in making my decisions. I'm assessing the risks. I'm planning everything long term, so we are getting to the result we want. Stability and trust is your strength on how you position yourself and how actually you build your next path. For type 7, it's all about opportunities. This is, again, if type 7 is applying for the job, I would strongly recommend to go into the, for instance, marketing job. And this is about the brainstorming. It's about the bringing creative ideas in place. It's about creating new opportunities. It's about the free spirit and mind, which is, again, creativity. For type 4 and type 7, creativity is one of the skills for the future of work. And again, HR would appreciate that as the strength. 8 is about assertiveness. For those of you who have strong credentials of 8, remember also that this type is very protective for the people in their teams or in their families. It's like, you know, this bird that is covering the little birds in the nest. This is type 8. No one ever has the right, especially in the corporate setting, to say something wrong about the type 8 team. Or if it's a mother type 8, you cannot say anything bad about your kids, even if you're the director of the school. So this is very much, and this is about assertiveness. If type 8 wants something, he or she will get what they want. Okay? And just if, again, 8 is one of your types, go with that, live with that. Just know that you can take the negative patterns of too much of energy and arrogance and too much of assertiveness and conflict into the 8. So you need to be careful, because you can be intimidating to other people, especially if you want to make a deal of the job or the business. And then for type 9, it's all about collaboration, everyone to be included, peace, nice ambience. Again, if you're talking about corporate setting or the job you're looking for, it's a lot about HR. And it's about psychological safety at work, well-being. Okay? That's the, again, as the example, depends on your professional side of where you built your career and where you are moving next. You see also how you can bring that strength while talking about who you are, while pitching yourself, while presenting yourself in the interviews. And then again, by saying this, you know that this is the core strengths of each of your type or types. You feel confident. It's like Anna would say, I don't want to lie about myself because this is my non-originality, right? But this is who you are, for instance, in terms of creativity. The more you go into the creative side of things, the more you open up yourself because this is who you are. Well, based on your Enneagram type. Okay? Now, where do you start with that? This is the open question to you now. Let's connect the dots. You have your homework. You said that honestly to your own self, I have certain plans. This is what I'm going to do in the next 2 months while listening to what Inamala and her trainers are telling me. Now, when you see more clearly your Enneagram types, your core strengths, how do you think what you already know about your type will help you to move forward? Where do you start? Any thoughts to share? You can place it if you don't want to share now, it's absolutely okay. You put the question, this goes as the addition to your homework. You remember I asked you to have the journal and to ask yourself more questions. Even after that, if you want, we will sit together on Saturday, or you sit alone, you reread your test, you said, okay, this is my strengths, this is what I'm going to leverage, this is what I take with me into my 2 months plan. Because now I will be talking about what doesn't allow you to go into your plan. So better start with your strengths. Very good? Okay. So I promise to show you one more thing. Now, as I mentioned, when you think about the Enneagram, there are three centers of intelligence: the feelers, thinkers, and doers, right? If you like, when you think about that you actually can perfectly decode and master different Enneagram types in one personality, it's exactly the same algorithm of how your brain works. You have three brain systems: the mental, emotional, and instinctive. So mental is where you are with your mental types, emotional with your emotional types, and doers where the instinct is about your reptilian brain. You as the human being, you use all three parts of your brain, right? Sometimes in the different situations, you have some part that prevails and you make two emotional decisions, for instance, right? Or no. For instance, type 5 is the least emotional type in the Enneagram. You need the facts so much. Your mental neocortex is driving you in life, and then type 2, full of emotions, will come to you. You even will not blink your eye because you're not reacting on emotions. But jokes aside, in our life, we are using equally three types of our brains. This is who we are. So look at the Enneagram for the perspective of who you are as the mix of the types, and don't stamp yourself here, I'm type 3 or type 7 or whoever, okay? And there is another element that I wanted to show you also about the behaviors on the Enneagram. And actually, when you see in your types, in your reports, there are arrows. So these are the growth arrows where there are connecting types. It means that this is the type or attributes of the type that would help you to enhance who you are or your type. I'm making you the example. Type 7 and type 8 are the opposite types. Okay? Type 7 is messy, and type 1 is very structured. So if type 7 would go into type 1 and saying, look, with all transparency, saying, look, I'm messy, I know. I'm jumping as the monkey from tree to tree. I'm looking for the new opportunities and I'm not completing the tasks. I need either to boost myself towards 1 or find someone in my network who can be my mentor or my manager and who can watch me and saying, you should become more structured and complete the tasks. The same for type 1, who is very rigid and strict in terms of control and making the decisions to the certain extent of execution. Type 7, if imagine the arrow will go on the opposite side, type 7 is something in the area of flexibility, where probably you can be more agile and free with the decisions or actions you are making, okay? So when you are looking, when your arrows are going on your map, that means the healthy or unhealthy attributes of other types you are taking, okay? In this particular example, I made you the example is type 7 grows from type 1, is type 1 can bring the structure and the discipline to type messy type 7. But then also what you can see on your maps is the red arrows. Again, just building on this example, type 1, the level of the perfectionism is already high, and that high demand goes first to this person and then to others. So if that particular person of type 1 cannot walk on talk and reach on bar, it goes into type 4 in closing and digesting inside alone that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, the world is not a beautiful place. This is how we can take the negative attributes of other types and then put additional pressure on us. And this is what actually you see on this less resourceful column of your Enneagram report. When you see some types are growing, and then you know that you are taking these negative attributes of that type and it doesn't help you because it's in a way intoxifying you because this is not who you are. Am I clear here? Okay. And then there is one thing I will show you also, and that I think we will conclude on that. And this is the very good reflection for you also after this session. It's in each type. Again, if you think I showed you the strengths, but I will show you also the limitations of each type. When you think about that, for instance, for type 1, the self-criticism is the weakness. It's something that is, well, the weakness. It's very strong as the negative attribute of type 1, right? So you are asking yourself too much and you are criticizing yourself too much for not reaching the high standard that you put for yourself and then for others. So probably you can, because the bar is yours, you can eventually lower the bar and being less demanding, first of all, for your own self, and you will open up to more opportunities and become more flexible in the way how you move in your plan. Then for type 2, if some of you have very strong type 2, the need of pleasing others, because you need to be loved and you want to share love, and you are neglecting your own needs so much to the extent that you start pleasing others, like imagining, building the illusion that you are surrounded by people and you have your support circle, but you are not enough for your own self. So you are trying to surround yourself with those people who really don't care about you. You start pleasing them, and then you are losing yourself into that. For those of you who have type 2, so strong 1, think about that on how much you are giving to others and how much do you receive back. Then for type 3, what holds you back and not allow to take more charge or more risks or try new things is the fear of failure. Failure is a learning, type 5 would tell you. So it's okay if you fail and you can learn out of that. For type 4, what holds you back is the emotional intensity, because again, there is a whole world inside in the picture and the beautiful painting that you paint for your own self, and then you put a lot of these authentic emotions on your own self. You need to learn to become more free, and probably from that emotional intensity going more into your type 2 of looking for other people and sharing with others and be more open to others, learning that probably the perspective of other people of the world could be acceptable as well, and not everyone is superficial and fake and you can find new connections and new people. For type 5, well, some decisions are not made because you are doing the paralysis analysis and thinking again and again and again and again. At some point of time, you should say stop and do it. And that's why there is a line between 6 and 3. Also, because 6 is about the long planning process, and 5 can take, even there is no line, 5 can take the more on the type 3 or the decisiveness of type 8, because sometimes you should stop thinking and then literally start doing and making the decisions and making the moves. Be mindful about that. For type 6, as I mentioned, type 3 is the growth path, especially if you're taking the green, the resourceful side of this. But as I explained in the very beginning about type 6, there is a lot of anxiety inside that brings uncertainty, and the decisiveness and actions are not there. So when you recognize this pattern and start working with this pattern and saying, why I'm afraid of this kind of move or this kind of thing, I can go with that. You start going with that, but you need to recognize for yourself first. Then 7th, well, I mentioned already, the messiness or impulsivity is the weakness. You're not consistent because there is a new opportunity that is coming. And if you don't complete, if you're building your career strategy and you're not completing the previous step of it, the silly example, you want to reach to hiring manager in LinkedIn and your LinkedIn is not completely done because you've seen hiring manager and you want to go and talk to that person directly, right? That doesn't work. So that's why, again, completing the things and the discipline of type 1 is the good help for type 7 in terms of reducing this massiveness and completing the tasks. And for type 8, your own way. Again, these are the challengers and the powerful person. For 8, it's very difficult to listen to others. They know what to do and they know how to do and they go with that. But alternative view is always helpful. And there is one phrase I like to repeat in many situations in life to many people. No one ever was able to do anything alone, and doing your own way is the selfish way. Okay? The advice and support from other people as well, and listen to alternatives. And type 9.
Didn't get that. Could you try again?
I
don't have an answer for that.
I have my answer. Thank you. Sorry, I have my Siri on my Mac. And we spoke with you about the flying or fighting mode and being in the procrastination stage. This is very much of pattern of 9 because the harmony is not there anymore. The peace is not there anymore. And type 9 is looking where is this moment of peace where I can reach, but there is no action. So the whole exercise and point here is that you recognize what is your type, what are the driving values, motivations, and driving behaviors there, but also depends where does it come from. There is something that always holds you back. If you want to do another transition in life, and this is what you are actually doing now, and reach the new point, you have to go through the difficult emotions or decisions just to overcome, win, and to get to the next stage. And procrastination or overanalysis or, again, failing of failure is not going to get you where you place in your homework. you have to work on this. And the first step is to acknowledging that, yes, this is the pattern I'm doing, and I can overcome this and I can work on it. Do I have something else? So, yeah, any thoughts on this? Do you see yourself here? And then while we spoke about your profile, your strengths, and the things that are barriers for you to act or decide, can you now recognize what really holds you back? Why certain things from your plan were not executed yet? Any thoughts? Yes, that is. Go ahead.
I'm thinking, and I'm just thank you for explanation. Just dive more deeply into the mixture of my types of personality, and I find it the most terrible of of those I heard about. So this, first of all, it's really true, and I'm experiencing all these states, like my types. By the way, it's at 6. It's a chronic anxiety, definitely. On the other hand, it's just, it sounds not good, but I find in my past, when I was like internal auditor, it was really the brilliant, brilliant strengths, because I needed to be cautious. I need to be just, attentive to details. I need to consider all the risks. I find I was at the right place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. The thing here is that, and again, in type 6, if you think about the professions, what you can do is the Enneagram also think in the future profession, where would be your best place. So in your particular case, right, with your character patterns and drivers, things like, again, when I do the team buildings or even individual clients, all my 6 type Enneagram clients, chief financial officers, chief auditor, accountants, strategic process planning managers, project managers, everything that relates to the long-term planning and assessments. This is where would be your best fit. Well, I'm not limiting to those, but in terms of the mindset, that's why I said this is where this is the professional strengths, definitely, but there you could place your main motivations and drivers in the profession, specifically in the professional area. And this is the match. You come and say, look, I'm overcautious, I'm checking everything, and I know for your businesses, you are moving very quickly. This is very highly competitive environment. You have the team of high performers, and those high performers are mostly type 3. They are moving quickly, that they are making so many mistakes and missing important details that you need me here to watch on them, that there is no big risk, and I can anticipate that, and they can validate with me if they can go into that scenario or not. Demand planning, supply chain, this is all the areas where you would thrive and feel comfortable. If tomorrow you receive the job offer to become, I don't know, chief marketing officer.
No, it's not my cup of tea.
I had type 6 in my role. I have type, so first, all my team is tested in the Enneagram. to make sure that we perform as one cohesive team. And I'm very precise in terms of allocating people to different roles. Okay. So for instance, and to different projects. And you know that your strength is taking time to make certain decisions. So you openly say and come and say, I will not be the quickest person in the team because you're missing so many important elements. Who is checking that? And to check that properly, we need time. You are not ready for that. I'm not going to jump over the stones and just close my eyes and saying there is no problem here. Sorry. And you are saving the business. But then if someone is coming to you and saying, Clarissa, you're too slow, you said, yeah, but go without me and do the mistakes. Good luck. And that's also the question of self-confidence here. So don't treat it as your weakness, but see on how you turn it into the professional strengths. Then there is another element that I'm trying to deliver to you from the opposite side of the personal ambition and the personal plan. You all came to this program because you were looking for something and you were in the certain stage where you could not find your why, or you tried so many things. Now you need to move forward and something is blocking you. So now from this perspective, you are looking at this and saying, look, there is too much of anxiety. You should stop it. But this is different perspective. This is different analysis. And you said, why, what I am afraid? And if you know, for instance, that in order to move forward, you need to build the circle of people and extend your network. And this is what you will be working with Julia on this Thursday with another trainer. You know that you need to extend your network, but you know that you are not that at ease to build the network with new people. And you know why? Because you need time to build trust. So when you go to network, you do your scan and radar, who you can talk, who you cannot. And instead of that, you come and saying, no one is going to hurt me here if I just talk to these people. And you do it differently. Does it make sense?
Thank you. Now that looks so clear. Really, because I really thought that that I was really slow, but it was I considered that like my more weakness, and because I worked for the very dynamic company, very dynamic team. And yeah, that wasn't wasn't right place. Now I see it clearly. Thank you.
I think so that there was, well, I think you saved the business a lot.
I did.
The business you've been to, the big four. You saved a lot of money for that business, but did you feel well in that run?
No, I went to burnout.
Exactly.
Oh, that is true.
You should be in the different place.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy that I'm here on your course. Thank you very much. It's eye-opener.
Thank you. Any other suggestions, insights, reflections that you would like to discuss? Jimena, yes.
Yes, I agree on, like, I feel identified in terms of the fear of failure, in with the type 3, or like even, and when, like, it's very interesting because yes, I kind of always put my energy to things to work and I will make it work. It doesn't matter the cost, probably sometimes personally. And yeah, and like the times I felt I fail, I identified so much with my self-worth. So I think that's something I have to work on.
There is a lot on type 3. There is a lot on self-worth and self-confidence. What I would advise you to think about before we meet the next time is who didn't give you enough of love when you were the little girl? Okay, can you forgive that? Can
Yeah,
you learn to love yourself for who you are by yourself? Can you stop waiting and expecting, because of that old pattern, that someone has to love you for who you are? You should become complete for your own self. And then you will not be running for new tasks, new projects, new accomplishment, and proving all the time to strangers that you are good, because you're already good in many different aspects, but you keep proving your worth. Go back on several decades, see who that person who didn't buy you chocolate.
Great, thank you.
Go and buy yourself chocolate. I did buy myself chocolates, and I do buy myself gifts, and I do buy myself flowers, because I am who I am.
Great. Thanks for the feedback.
Pleasure. Okay. And then I wanted to ask, so well, Julia is with us and doesn't know her test results. What do you think? What is your reflection?
I suppose it's type 3, 5, and powerful person is
8.
But 8, yes. Yes. I think it's something from there, something from there. But it's only my opinion, what I'm thinking about myself. So I like information. I like operate facts, not emotions. Emotions, I have a lot of emotions, but first facts. And then I have to make a decision. And I have some rules. So, and I know what is good, what is bad, but there is also not only black or white, yeah, so there is a gray color. So, but and I have, I think, this emotional intellect. So I think I try to put somewhere shoes and walk in these shoes. Yeah. So, and I try not to judge nobody, because I wasn't in this situation. I don't know what should I do in exactly this situation. But I think I don't need loyalty. I'm open to opportunities, to people. I'm not the say no human being.
But you said, I interrupt you. You said that something happened that now you will be moving quicker.
Yes.
What are the strengths you are going to? What are the strengths you are going to use now to move quicker and start doing things?
Yeah, now I don't have my job, so I lost it. Just recently. I just lost my job recently.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. In Shakhtar Donetsk.
That's why I need to move forward and do it, I think, quickly, as quick as I can. So.
And remind me, what was your position there?
It's inner audit. So it's financial department.
Okay. So probably, if I may suggest, then it's up to you. For instance, Julia and Larissa, you can connect together for a talk, and you are both in Zurich. And you are sharing the audit as the professional sphere. And Larissa, she was looking for a job in audit in so many places. I suggest, this is up to you. Probably you could meet for a coffee and exchange some ideas on how you can tackle this challenge and help each other.
I do not mind. If Larissa doesn't mind, I can put here my telephone number just for Larissa, if she doesn't mind, of course.
Let's share your number. Good.
Thank you. I will
help each other on that. Any other thoughts before we conclude?
And I know also about me that I am an ambivalent person. So I try to find something positive, something positive inside. Every situation has both sides. So I know it.
But yeah, you know, but you've been suggesting a lot of different things.
So it's about me. It's what exactly do I know about myself? So it's what I already know. But I think there are a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah, but we will do it later stage. We will do the test and we will again justify in terms of numbers what are the patterns there, and then you will know. Okay, good. Look, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good to go with the Enneagram. So again, I can stay for another 10 minutes if you want to talk, if you have some more questions on that. Reread from what you hear today. Look again at your tests. Look at other numbers you have. Look specifically in the part of mindfulness and the cause of your type, where it comes from the early childhood. Ask yourself very honest questions and try to overcome the barriers that don't allow you to move forward. Okay? If you want to talk more about that, Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning, you are most welcomed. If not, I will not be with you this Thursday. It will be another trainer, Julia Kurt, who will be talking with you about networking strategies and how to open up for external audience and how to enlarge your network in both sides. You remember the service equity line. You serve, someone serves you, giving and getting. So you will meet her. She has a lot of energy. And then I will see you, I think, on another week, I think. Okay? We're good?
And for Saturday, do we have an invitation or did I miss anything?
No. The Saturday, I said Saturday is another thing. So if you want to have another session with me, this is what I do in my main business, not in the association. So all my clients who are doing the Enneagram test with me on corporate and individual, they can come to the Clarity Morning where we read the tests, and it's little groups. Sometimes I have one person, sometimes I have 4, not more, because we keep it intimate and effective. So if you want, wait a minute while you are here. It's here. You go to my main website, bevel.world. Okay, and then inside of it there is a part events, and you can choose any Saturday you want there. Okay.
Thank you.
And I can duplicate, if you want, I can duplicate it in the WhatsApp chat as well when we finish.
Okay, thank you.
Good, fantastic. I wish you a nice evening with a lot of reflections, and I see you next week, and this Thursday is Julia. Okay? Ciao, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.